Then they turned around to him and they said this. This is ayah number 87 of Surah Hud. Ya Shuaib, oh Shuaib, asalatuka ta'muruka an natruk ma ya'budu aba'una. He said, Shuaib, you're praying, yeah? Because that, and this gives the dalil that salah was something that was in many different religions before this religion. This salah that we do, of bowing down, ruku, sujood, and standing in front of Allah in qunut. This qunut, ruku, sujood, this was in many different religions before us, and this is the dalil for that. That they said as-salatu, that your prayer that you're doing, ta'muruk an natruk ma ya'budu aba'una. What? You've been praying so hard, Shuaib. You've been praying so much, Shuaib, that we think that your salah has got to you. You understand? Your salah has got to you. We think that you're so devoted and you're so spiritual and you're so much into your religion that now you're telling me that your salah now tells us that we can't worship what our forefathers worship. You think that's wrong? First. And second, أن نفعل في أموالنا ما نشاء. Your salah prevents us from doing what we want in our wealth. And then they said, إنك لأنت الحليم الرشيد. Come on, Shuaib. You are such a gentleman. Halim, gentleman. You're a forbearant. You're a tolerant man. You got such nice qualities inside you. Rashid, you're a person who's guided. You're under balance. You're so well balanced in everything else. But what happened here? Why are you coming and telling us what to do? You want to devote yourself? Go and devote yourself. Don't come and tell us what to do. Now, what they said to him in effect was, and this happens in our society as well, right? And it's sad when it happens, yeah. A man and a woman, they get married, and maybe both of them weren't practicing. And suddenly the woman starts practicing, or the man starts practicing, and the other one doesn't like it. And what the other one says is, hey, listen, says, you're getting too much into this religion. This religion's changing you, and I don't like the change. So for example, the woman wasn't wearing hijab, and the woman wears the hijab. And when she wears the hijab, the husband says, hey, you're not looking nice in that. You're not looking nice in that. He makes you feel awkward. All because she's not listening to him, and then he blames it on the religion. He says, you just becoming too practiced now. Now it's getting to me. Now it's getting to our lives. You need to stop this kind of too much getting into Islam, too much into it. Yeah, people blame the religion. Why? Because people want them to go back to the ways they were. I'll give you. This is a true incident. Okay, a guy came to me in Palmer's Green Masjid, just down the road. Okay, and he said to me, he said, Shaykh, I want you to give me advice. I said, what's the matter? He said, my wife, she doesn't like me anymore. I said, your wife doesn't like you anymore? What's happening? Yeah, she wants separation. She wants this, that, or she doesn't. I said, what happened? I said, have you sort of, I don't know, changed in any way? So he said, no, we're completely normal. I said, come on, tell me, have you changed in any way? He said, yeah, well, I've become practicing over the last year or so. So I said, yeah, you've been practicing. So tell me, what was your life like before? So he said, my life before, we used to go out for dinners, we used to go to cinema together, we used to do all of that. Now, my wife says, come to cinema. I say, but what about Maghrib Salah? Problemo. What about Maghrib Salah? What am I going to do for Isha, for Maghrib? Especially Maghrib. Like Maghrib is in a time where you can't delay it. What am I going to do for Maghrib? So the wife says, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? You become so religious, so this, that we can't even go out together. Problemo. So I said, so what happened? So she said that, well, she doesn't like the kind of life. He goes, I come to the masjid, I, try to pray. He goes, my akhlaq has become better. I'm a better person. So I said, what's the matter? He goes, that she still wants me to be like we were before. Ya Allah, there are a lot of, people out there who are in this situation. A lot of people out there in this situation. And what happens is that the couples, the thing that's coming between them is that the non-religious one will blame the religion for it. So here they're blaming Shuaib alayhi salam that you got too religious, my friend. Too much religion is not good. Now your religion, and this, what they said to him, in actual fact, is what the world is saying to some of the religious people today. They're saying that, look, if you have a masjid, and if you pray, and you do your salah, and you be a little good boy, okay? You be good boy, you work, come to masjid, salah, go back to work, good boy, come back to masjid, go home, good boy, come back to masjid, nothing else, don't ask anything, don't go into any of these circles and have these, conversations about religion and politics. No. Be a good boy, pray, mosque, pray, home, pray, shopping center, pray, home, pray, mosque. You good boy, we love you, you love us, everything hunky-dory. But if you come to the masjid, and if you want to get into some circles, or some tafsir, or something, that tells you, wakes you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think, whoa, what's happening, man? What's happening to this consumerist life that I've got? This consumerism life that I've got is sucking me inside. It's making me so much that I can't think about my akhirah, my future. And you wake up, you think, no. I'm not going to let it happen to me. Yeah, and you have halaqas, you have gatherings, and you have books of hadith and Quran and this and that, and you start changing and your mindset changing. Hey, listen. You're getting a bit too far now, yeah? Your masjid, your religion is confined to the corner of the masjid. That's it. Don't make it anything more than that. The moment you make it more than that, then Big Brother not happy. You understand? Big Brother going to beat you up. So if you go to the Middle Eastern countries, that's what it is. Go to the Middle Eastern countries, like for example Dubai. Dubai's got some of the most wonderful masjids. Dubai and many other countries. But you just basically go to the masjid, Allahu Akbar, Subhan Rabbil A'la, Subhan Rabbil A'la, Salaam alaikum, Salaam alaikum rahmatullah. That's it. You make salam here, don't do salam to anybody else, brother. Straight out. That's what they want to see you. Come pray, no problem. We give you lovely carpet, we give you chandeliers, we give you Qur'ans, we give you all tasbih, everything you need. We give you aircon in the masjid. We'll give you all of that. We'll even write the Imam's khutbah for Friday so he knows exactly what to say today. He can't say more than that. That's what they've done. And you come there, you can't think outside of the box of what's going on. That's it. You come there, you pray, you go, that's it. And that's what they were telling Shuaib alayhi salam, that if your salah sticks to your own prayer and you don't come and tell us what to do, we're fine with that. But you coming to us after you pray and telling us what to do, first, not to worship these lords that our forefathers did, and second, you're telling us that we can't do anything in our wealth because of your salah. You're the religious one, you're getting on our nerves now. And then they used the plot. They said, look, إِنَّكَ لَأَنْتَ الْحَلِيمُ الرَّشِيدُ. If it doesn't work that you can tell someone like, hey, listen, what's happening? I'm getting angry now. If you can't use that, then you use the other one. It's a sly tactic. Use what they say, the sweet tongue. So they use the sweet tongue here. Surah number 11, ayah number 87. They said, Halim, come on, Shuaib. You're such a gentleman, Shuaib. Oh, Shuaib. Don't upset us. Oh, please. And this happens in masjids. I want to tell you what happens, right? So let me give you the scenario, yeah? The imam of a masjid, now this doesn't happen every single masjid, right? And I hope this is not my last session in this masjid, you have to say this. Please. Yeah. An imam didn't give me an envelope before I came here, right? So please, yeah? This happens in many masjids. What happens is that the people who run the masjid and the imams they appointed, there's a difference between him and them. They've got their agenda, Imam's got his agenda. Fine, they say, Imam, you can say what you want, but you don't say something about us and about what we are doing and about our politics and about our fingers and our wealth and our monies and how we're dealing with them. No, as long as you don't do that, you're fine. You stay on this member as long as you like. We'll support you, we'll pay your salary, we'll make application, we'll try and get your family over, we'll try and house you near the masjid, we'll give you a car, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Yeah, Imam, you, me, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. But the moment the Imam is going to start saying something about them, any corruption in the committee, any corruption in the masjid, any corruption about any of the members, what they're doing, anything like that, or any conversation of that to anybody in the masjid, hey, listen, we thought you were a gentleman. You know why they're saying you thought gentlemen? Hey, listen, you listen to us Otherwise, you, me, out. That's what happens. Many masjids across the world. It's a sad situation. A lot of imams have got red tape on their mouths. They can't speak. And I know for a fact, because I'm a Bengali, and in many Bengali masjids up north in this country, imams have got red tape. They can't talk about alcohol. They can talk any bayan on the masjid. Any bayan they want. They can talk about, this politics, that thing, that, but they can't talk about alcohol. Why? Because certain committee members, they deal with alcohol. They've got restaurants. And the moment they say it, that's it. He's out. He's finished. He's history. And if he doesn't say it, oh, mashallah, Imam, such a nice bayan, mashallah, Imam, hug me, mashallah. This is what happens, yeah? So you put red tape on them. And that's what they're trying to do to Shuaib alayhi salam. Red tape. Listen, you're a gentleman. Don't upset us, man. Such a good man. Rashid, you're a person of intelligence. You're bright. You're on the right track with everything else you do. That's what they say to the Imam. Everything you're doing, mashallah, everything. You teach the kids properly. You come on time. You're there for salah. You do, even when we want you to clean the masjid, you clean it. You got no, arrogance inside you. Everything's so wonderful. But why did you have to talk about that? We don't want you to talk about that again. If you talk about that, we're warning you right now that it's going to be finished. And that's what happens. And the moment they speak, they're out of the masjid. So they gave him that, both tokens. You're telling me that your salah is telling us too much? You can tell us what to do in our lives? And second is, come on, you're a gentleman. Come on, you're a gentleman. That's when Shuaib alayhi salam said to them, look, I've brought you a clear evidence. And I've also showed you that I've got a halal rizq and a halal life. Look at my wealth. Am I suffering? Am I suffering? Do I need to go into a haram way to make money to kind of live? You don't. Wallahi, brothers, I'm telling you this. All those people in haram, all the, you think, La ilaha illallah. I just saw a video, King Abdullah, who just passed away last week, King Abdullah, saw a video of his janazah. And they brought him all the way to an unknown grave, which is a good thing, mashallah, you have to give the man credit. He didn't have the same way as many other kings, but unknown grave. They had a golden cloth on top of his, and they had to remove that golden cloth and reveal the white shroud that me and you are going to wear. That king who was a billionaire yesterday, yeah, last week, buried with 3 cloths, me and you going to be buried in, it's tied exactly the same way as every believer on this earth is going to go. And they put him in the soil of the ground that costs the same as any other soil in the whole of the world. Did he take any of his billions with him? Nothing. And all these other Saudis around him with the mashallah iron clothes and the, they have to iron that. All the whites around them and the red scarves. Well, I'm just looking and thinking, man, come on, man. You guys wake up, man. Wake up. They're all millionaires as well. Some of these royals that came, millionaires and billionaires around him were burying him. I'm thinking, wake up, man. Wake up. End of the day, no matter what you do here, you can't go past Malakul Maut. You can't go past him. Doesn't matter by hook or by crook, there's no way anybody's going to go past him without meeting him and without him taking the life. And that billionaire went down. What happened after that? Your risk, and somebody else, look, tell me this here. Somebody told me this. They said, when you become a rich person, what do you want to do with your money? When you got a lot of money, what are you going to do? You're going to eat, yeah? How much you're going to eat, tell me. There's a limit to how much you can eat. They've actually estimated, they've actually measured people's foods, and they said the average man will eat about 400 grams. The average man will eat 400 grams. Whether you spend a 200-pound meal, or whether you spend a 20-pound meal, or a 5-pound meal, or a 2-pound meal, your stomach is going to get full when you reach your 400 grams, or your 300 grams, or 350 grams. When you reach that, your stomach is full. That's it. And if you're going to go for clothes, whatever, you can only wear a few pieces of clothes on your body at one time, brother. That's all you can do. You can have a wardrobe of 50 clothes, but you can only wear one at a time. That's it. And that king went down to the bottom. So Shuaib alayhi salam said, look, I've got halal, take me as an example. And then he said, وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أُخَالِفَكُمْ إِلَى مَا أَنْهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ. I don't want to do anything that is going to be against the preaching that I'm doing. It's a very important part he said here, because if you're telling people to do something and you go against it, then people say, I'm not listening to him. The moment you go against your own principles, people don't want to listen to you. That's number one. Second is, he's trying to say here that I'm setting you an example of halal. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to trade haram like you? If I trade like you in a haram way, then there's no difference between me and you. And then you're going to say all these days, Shuaib lied to us. Alayhi salatu salam. Shuaib lied. Because if you say, no, I'm going to change. See, once you're on haqq, you're on haqq, my friend. You've got to stay. This is what the Quran teaches us. Once you've preached to a certain people, you say, this is the truth. You've got to stay on it. And people will do a lot to move you about. People do a lot to move you about. And you've got to stay on the truth. The moment you move away from there, and you say, okay, I'm going to compromise. When you compromise, you dilute your deen. When you dilute your deen, then people say, see, he's just like us. There's no difference between us and him. Yeah, he's alright. He can buy him with money. It's alright. Once you move a little bit, then people start accusing you. That's why he's saying, I'm not going to go against what I've preached. Everything I'm preached, I'm going to stay on it. And then he said, In uridu illa al-islaha mastata'at. To the best of my ability, all I want to rectify the entire city. All the people here, it's not about you, one individual. It's not about you, or the committee members, whoever, or the greatest, powerful people in the city. No, it's about everybody. I want justice for everybody. I want reconciliation for everybody. I want everybody to be on halal. Everybody to have a just way of going to the marketplace and not being cheated. I want that. I want islah, and I want islah, I want reconciliation and a good rectification for everybody. And that's what I'm after. And this is the thing. What will happen if Shuaib alayhi salam gets his way? I'm going to ask you this question. If Shuaib alayhi salam got his way and he made everybody be just, and everybody be fair, and everybody be good, what happens to those people who made the most money through corruption? What happens? Huh? They lose power. And what else do they lose? Wealth. Money go, brother. You're going to lose the wealth, you're going to lose the power, you're going to lose the dignity, and you're going to lose that position of making loads of wealth because you're here. You're corrupted, you've got the status, and you're making loads of money, you're going to lose that. And that's the reason why some of the corrupted governments in the world don't want the justice of Islam to prevail. Because once it does, they lose the power, they lose their wealth, they lose the status, they lose all of it. Because everybody becomes equal. Today, my brothers, today you think how much injustice in the world. 1% of the population owns half of the world's wealth. 1% of the world's people owns half of the wealth. And you find that 80% of people across the world, 80% of people across the world are in some form of poverty or some form of struggle. So all you really need is to distribute that wealth in a better way, and everyone's going to be okay. Now what happens, I want to break this up, okay? I want to break this up. And I want you to understand the chain of this. When a person grows up, and I want you to get this, I'm going to try and be very short and succinct in this. You grow up in a family, in a rich family. The rich family have got money to send you to a private school. You go to a private school and you end up with the elite people in school. So you join with them, you talk with them, and you have an elite mind. You see others lower than you. Then you kind of carry on, and you believe that, you are part of the cream of the society. And you know that already. You're a part of the cream of the society. Your dad afforded £30,000 a year to send you to school. Or £50,000 or £60,000 a year to send you to school. When others are struggling to even pay £3,000 a year. But you got to that. You join with those people. You join, you're good, fine. Then you leave the school and you leave the university and you come back. And then what? Straight away you are guaranteed to get a position in some high post. And when you get that, there's already people like you who are already in there. And they've got a monopoly of wealth, monopoly of power. They give power to who they want, they give wealth to who they want. They trade with their own likes. So they trade with your dad. As long as you follow your dad's footsteps, they trade with you. So then you join them and you're part of the club. As long as you toe the line, you're okay. You toe the line of your father, you don't ask too many questions, you know there is corruption going on. You know that countries in the African world are being exploited to try and get your own monies. You ignore that. You ignore that. Countries in the Far East are being exploited, but you ignore that. You kind of justify it by becoming a philanthropist. What you do is every year you give 1% or 2% or 3% of your wealth, which is huge. You're giving away £100,000, £200,000. And there are these huge philanthropists across the world who give loads of money. They give tens of millions of pounds to these countries, and you think, wow, yeah, whoa, they're giving all this money. But now, hang on a minute, they robbed them billions in the first place. If you rob countries millions and millions in the first place, and then you throw a couple of million to them, what's that? That's like trying to say, hey man, listen, I'm going to rob your whole house here, and after that I'm going to give you the dog's kennel to go and live in there. It's alright, I gave you a house, man. Listen, I gave you a house here, the dog's kennel, go and live in there. You rob him of his whole house and then give him a dog's kennel. So then you're part of this elite group, and the businessmen, all those associates you have, they trade with one another, and then your belief is what? Your belief is that if you ever give up, and if you ever don't toe your father's line, and your society's line, and you lose the power and the wealth, you're going to be the same as all the common people outside there, or by the middle class outside there. So you don't want to do that. You're in a battle yourself. Now there are honest people amongst them. I'm not saying they're all like that. Please don't get the wrong message. They're not all like that. There are good people amongst them who try and get a fair world. But this is what happens. What Shuaib alayhi salam is trying to fight. He's trying to say, I'm not just doing it for you few people. I'm doing it for everybody. Everybody. And then he says, وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. Now this a couple of things I'm going to say. I've got about 5 minutes left and I'm finished here. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. He says that tawfiq. What is tawfiq? Tawfiq is when Allah Azza wa Jal takes one thing and another thing, and He combines, He makes both of them come together in a way that makes these two things be successful, or bring out success. So for example, for you to have a good grade, like let's say for example you got a nice certificate, you got an MA and a BA, you got your nice CV, you got your CV, and now you're qualified to work as, let's say, an engineer. But for you to actually be accepted, like for a company to interview you, and for that company to like you to the extent they say, we're going to offer you the job out of all these other people, that is now tawfiq. Your CV and the place for you to work has come together. That's tawfiq. Okay? Two things coming together, making further success for yourself. And further, it's like called facilitation, making facilitation for you, making another pathway for you. Shuaib alayhi salam is saying that anything in my life where I've been able to make halal money, and I've been able to stay with the halal pathway, and for me to stay on the haqq and the truth, and for me to preach against you people, and for me to not be withered by you people, all of that is from the tawfiq of Allah Azza wa Jalla. That He's put me, my wealth, my haqq, my mind, my heart, my whole life together in a pure way. That is from Allah Azza wa Jalla. It's not from me. Now why is He saying that? Because we giving da'wah cannot become arrogant. This is a very important thing, brothers and sisters that are listening. Just because you're on the guidance, just because you've got a beard, just because the sister's got hijab, just because you've got halal wealth, just because you're in a halal, don't look down the other man and say, look at it. Never. Because for you to have kept the beard, for you to have the good heart, for the sister to keep the hijab, for you to earn the halal and stick onto that when haram is in your face and you can make more money with haram, but you decide not to, all that combination comes from who? Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's where we say, وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. All of this combination together for me to be on guidance is from Allah, not from myself. Any good that we do, we should, the ulama say it's good to actually say this. After you've done a good deed, after you've done a good act, or after you saw that good things have happened to you, right, in a way that is facilitated in a nice way for the deen, for being religious, say this, say وَمَا تَوْفِيقِي إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. And then add the next part, عَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلْتُ وَإِلَيْهِ أُنِيبُ. Upon Allah I depend. Why? Because for me to stay on the haqq, for me to carry on having halal wealth, for me not to go towards haram, it's all going to be because I depend on who? Allah. Today, my friend, you're on deen, tomorrow you might not be on the deen. Today you're practicing, tomorrow you might not be practicing. May Allah Azza wa Jalla save me, may Allah save you.
Ameen.
Ameen. And that tawfiq every day that we get ability, and Allah facilitates for us to be on the truth and for us to stay on the truth. That is from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Wa ilayhi unib, and to Him I completely turn. To Him I turn to Him, to Allah Azza wa Jalla, meaning that I'm powerless. I've got no power. Allah gave me tawfiq to be in this position. Now He said all of this, why? Because He's trying to remind them that, look, seeing me in this position is not because I'm such a, they said Halimur Rashid, they said you're a gentleman. Me being gentleman doesn't, I never made myself gentleman. Allah made me gentleman. Me being intellectual, I didn't make myself clever. Allah made me clever. And that's who I depend on. And that's how the mu'min should depend on Allah Azza wa Jal in every matter of his. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us tawfiq. Ameen. Have you got a question? Then put your hands up, otherwise we've ended here. Jazakumullah khair wa akhir da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. I'll see you inshallah next week.